The stage lights glow softly as the massive auditorium hums with anticipation. Thousands of eyes are fixed on the curtains, but no one is quite sure what to expect next. The announcer's voice fades, and a hush falls over the crowd. From the side of the stage steps a small boy, barefoot, wearing worn jeans and a simple shirt that looks like it has been washed 1,000 times. He clutches a small cloth bag close to his chest, his hands trembling slightly. Behind him, 4 cats walk calmly in a neat line, their tails swaying with quiet confidence. The audience murmurs, confused, curious, and slightly amused. A boy and cats on this stage feels almost unreal. The boy stops at the center, takes a deep breath, and looks up at the judges. His eyes are dark, honest, and filled with something far deeper than nervousness. Simon Cowell leans forward, one eyebrow raised. Heidi smiles politely, trying to hide her curiosity. Sophia whispers something under her breath, and Howie tilts his head, already intrigued. The boy swallows hard and introduces himself in a soft but steady voice. He says his name is Mateo. He says he comes from a small fishing village in the Philippines. He says these cats are his family. The crowd lets out a gentle laugh, but it is not mocking. It is warm, unsure, and slightly charmed. Simon asks how old he is. Mateo answers that he is 12. Simon then asks the obvious question, "What are you going to do today?" Mateo hesitates for just a second, then smiles. He says he is going to show them something his mother taught him was impossible, that animals could never truly understand humans. But he says his cats taught him otherwise. The judges exchange glances. Simon shrugs slightly, as if to say, "Let's see it then." Mateo kneels and opens the cloth bag. Inside are simple props, a small wooden box, colored ribbons, a tiny bell, and a stick no longer than a pencil. He places the items neatly on the floor, then gently taps the ground twice. Instantly, the 4 cats sit in perfect formation. The audience gasps. This alone would be impressive, but Mateo is just beginning. As he raises the small stick, one cat steps forward and balances on its hind legs. The crowd laughs in surprise. Mateo lowers the stick, and the cat bows. Applause breaks out. Simon's eyebrows rise higher now. Mateo moves the stick again, and another cat jumps onto the wooden box, spins once, and sits perfectly still. The timing is flawless. No treats are visible, no hidden signals. Just a boy and his cats moving as one. Mateo's hands shake less now. Confidence begins to replace fear. He whispers a word in Filipino, soft and musical. The cats respond instantly. 2 of them weave around each other, forming a perfect figure 8, then stop directly in front of the judge's table. One gently rings the tiny bell with its paw. The sound echoes through the theater. The audience erupts in applause. Simon leans back in his chair, clearly surprised. He mouths a quiet wow. Mateo's smile grows, but his eyes glisten as if something deeper is coming. He pauses, then speaks again, this time louder. He says he trained his cats not because he wanted fame, but because he had nothing else. He says when his father died at sea, the cats were all he had. The crowd falls silent. He continues, explaining that his mother worked long hours cleaning houses, and he stayed home alone. The cats kept him company. He started talking to them. Then one day, they listened. Mateo gestures, and the cats move into a new formation. This part is different, slower, emotional. Soft music begins to play, a gentle piano melody. One cat lies down as if sleeping. Another places a paw over it. A third cat slowly circles them. The fourth sits beside Mateo and looks up at him. The scene tells a story without words. Loss, comfort, love. Sophia's eyes fill with tears. Heidi presses her lips together, visibly moved. Howie wipes his eyes and laughs nervously at himself. Simon watches in complete silence, his face unusually soft. Mateo kneels beside the cats and gently strokes the one lying down. The cat slowly rises, stretches, and walks toward him. Mateo lifts his arms, and the cat jumps into them, resting calmly against his chest. The audience stands. The applause is thunderous. People cheer, whistle, and shout his name. But Mateo is not finished. He sets the cat down and takes a deep breath. He says this next part is the hardest. He closes his eyes for a moment, then snaps his fingers once. All 4 cats run to different corners of the stage. The crowd quiets again. Mateo stands completely still, hands at his sides. The music stops. For a long second, nothing happens. Then Mateo raises his hands slowly. One by one, the cats return. Not running, Not rushing. They walk slowly, deliberately, as if following an invisible path. They stop in front of him, sit, and look up at his face. Mateo whispers a single word. All 4 cats lie down simultaneously, forming a perfect circle around him. The theater explodes. Simon stands up. At first, people think he is adjusting his chair. Then they realize he is fully standing, clapping, shaking his head in disbelief. The crowd goes wild. The camera cuts to Simon, applauding harder than anyone else. Mateo looks shocked. His eyes widen. He brings his hands to his mouth. Tears spill down his cheeks. The cats remain perfectly still, as if they understand this moment is sacred. When the applause finally fades, Simon speaks. He says he has seen many animal acts. He says most rely on tricks, food, or fear. But this, he says, is different. He says what he saw was trust. Real trust. He tells Mateo that what he has is rare, and it cannot be trained. It can only be earned. Mateo nods, crying openly now. Heidi tells him she has never seen cats perform like this in her life. She says she didn't even think it was possible. Sophia says the story touched her heart, and that she felt the love between him and the animals in every second. Howie jokes that his own dog doesn't listen this well, then turns serious and says this might be one of the most unique acts the show has ever had. Simon asks Mateo one final question. He asks what he would do if he won. Mateo thinks carefully. He says he would buy his mother a house where the roof doesn't leak. He says he would make a safe place for stray animals in his village. And then he smiles shyly and says he would buy better food for his cats. The crowd laughs and cries at the same time. Simon doesn't hesitate. He says yes. All 4 judges say yes. The screen lights up. 4 bright yes votes shine behind Mateo. Confetti does not fall, but it doesn't need to. The moment is already perfect. As Mateo bows, the cats stand and bow with him. The audience screams. Simon is still standing, still clapping, his expression one of pure amazement. Mateo walks off the stage the same way he came on, barefoot, humble, and holding his cloth bag. But everything has changed, not just for him, but for everyone who watched. Because in that moment, a poor boy and his cats didn't just shock the judges. They reminded the world that love, patience, and trust can turn the impossible into something unforgettable.